Hello and welcome to Empowered Boundaries. I'm Simona, your guide and coach for this course. If you wrestle with boundaries, whether that's because you have boundary impaired people in your life, or because you were taught that boundaries are selfish, or because you were conditioned to feel guilt if you include yourself in the equation, or if healthy boundaries just weren't modeled for you, I promise you, you're not alone. Whatever the path that brought you here, I want you to know that boundaries are a learnable skill, which is why my intention for our time together is to teach you the foundational skills you need to have healthy and aligned boundaries that support you in your real life, out in the world as a human with other humans, some of whom have started to do their own work and some who have not. Before we dive deeper, I'd like to introduce myself. For those of you that don't already know me, I'm Simona. My full name is Simona Vivi Haji Georgelis. I'm a transformational life coach here at the Center for Remothering, and I'm the founder of remothering.org. Those are my professional roles now, but my personal history includes a long and winding journey towards learning and understanding boundaries. That list I shared a moment ago, my answers would have been all of the above and more. Yes, I have boundary impaired people in my life. My mother is one of them. Yes, I was taught that boundaries are selfish and having personal preferences, let alone expressing those preferences, also selfish. I was conditioned to feel guilt if I include myself in the equation. And no, healthy boundaries were not modeled for me, which is why when I began my journey, I had enormous blind spots in my understanding of boundaries. The upside of having figured out boundary fundamentals as an adult is that I can tell you with confidence that boundaries are a learnable skill. What motivated me to create this course was realizing I'm not the only one that didn't learn healthy boundaries as a child. It may or may not sound strange, but I used to think that I was. But through my work at the Center for Remothering and at remothering.org, I've spoken to so many people that are wrestling with some of the same challenges that I had faced. And because boundaries are the edges between us and other people, when we can learn how to create healthy and aligned boundaries for ourselves, in addition to having an incredible impact on our own quality of life, we can have a huge and wonderful impact on the lives of the people we love most in this world, which is why I've consolidated my years of boundary education, along with integrating my hard-earned lessons from learning boundaries as an adult. And that's what I'll be teaching you in this Empowered Boundaries course. Plus, in the workbook that comes with this course, I'll include a list of my most influential boundary teachers and mentors. When I started my own journey, and I shared this with you to really underline that boundaries are a learnable skill, I felt like I was traveling through a thick mist with no visible direction signs in sight. But fast forward till now, which is a couple of decades later, and I'm a globally recognized remothering expert and transformational life coach specializing in healthy boundaries, self-kinder minds, and guiding others on their own journeys towards thriving forward in self-alignment. Even though it took me a really very long time to get here as I was learning forward and making loads of mistakes along the way. I want you to know that based on the results I've seen my clients experience, it absolutely doesn't have to take as long when you have a roadmap you can follow. We have more to cover in this video, but I'd like to pause here and invite you to notice what's on your heart and what's on your mind as we begin to embark on this empowered boundaries journey together. If you're still contemplating or journaling, feel free to pause the video, and whenever you're ready, let's continue. This next sentence is really important, and actually, I'm going to read it word for word. We have the power within us to shift from outside in boundaries to radiating clear and kind boundaries from the inside out. And that sentence is so important that in just a moment, I'm going to invite you to write it down. And the reason I'm inviting you to consider writing it is so that you can engage other parts of your mind as well. And we'll talk more about neuroanatomy in the next video. So what I'd like to do now is read the sentence again slowly with we language. We have the power. And then I'll read it using I language. I have the power. And I'd like to invite you to write down the I sentence. And a little side note, in case your brain works similarly to mine and you like everything to match, I want to name that the sentence I'm about to say is slightly different than the one that I just said. And that's so that it works better as an I statement. You ready? We have the power to recondition ourselves to radiate healthy and aligned boundaries from the inside out. And here's the I statement if you want to write it. I have the power to recondition myself to radiate healthy and aligned boundaries from the inside out. Notice where you feel that's true, and it may or may not be your whole system, and that's okay. Where in your body do you feel that it's true that you can radiate healthy and aligned boundaries? And now, as we begin to end this first video, I'd like to offer you a question, and you can find this in your workbook as well. What are you hoping to receive from this course? What are you hoping to receive from this course? As you contemplate that, I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.